From WRAL News and the Capital Broadcasting Podcast Network, this is your Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief for Monday, May 4th, 2020. I'm Cliff Baumgardner. Here's the latest from WRAL.com. Sometime yesterday, North Carolina's unemployment system logged its 1 millionth claim in less than 2 months. That means nearly 20% of North Carolina's workforce has filed for unemployment since March 15th, when the state started logging claims related to COVID-19 shutdowns. It's nearly 10% of the state's entire population and far beyond anything the state saw during the Great Recession. So far, the system has paid out $1.27 billion, mostly in federal money that was included in a stimulus bill boosting payments by $600 a week. Otherwise, the state's maximum weekly unemployment payout would be $350. North Carolina has some of the lowest benefits in the country, and last week lawmakers considered raising the system's maximum to $400, as well as a formula change that would have increased payouts for at least some people. Though these proposals had unanimous support in the state Senate, they were jettisoned from the final bill during negotiations with the NC House. Though the federal government is infusing billions into the unemployment system, the state portion is funded by a tax that employers pay. That tax has essentially been waived for the first quarter of this year through a tax credit included in the final COVID-19 package that the General Assembly approved this weekend, and which Governor Roy Cooper signed into law today. The State Department of Transportation's cash reserve has fallen below the $293 million minimum set by state law, meaning the agency cannot start any new road projects. That's according to officials. The DOT is funded through gas taxes and fees paid on vehicle purchases and Division of Motor Vehicle Services. All three sources of revenue have declined as people drive less during the pandemic. State officials estimate more than $300 million in lost revenue for the fiscal year that ends in June, and more than $370 million in the fiscal year of 2020 through 2021. Transportation Secretary Eric Boyette said in a statement, quote, "Never in the history of North Carolina DOT has there been such an immediate and sustained decline in revenues. We need revenue to begin putting people back to work across North Carolina," end quote. The agency has laid off about half of its temporary workers and consultants, enacted a hiring freeze, and is developing plans to furlough workers and cut its budget in other areas. Wake County commissioners met today to discuss a plan to funnel $5 million from the federal government to small businesses. Wake County Commissioner Matt Calabria said the county has the potential to receive $194 million from the federal government, and he's proposing some of that money go to small business owners. As part of Wake County's proposed Small Business Relief Program, $4 million will be set aside for small businesses and $1 million will be set aside for independent contractors like barbers and hairstylists. The numbers sound small in comparison to the $194 million in total the Wake County could receive, but Calabria said there are restrictions on how the money is spent. The county must consider other top priorities, including housing and food security. Wake County has until the end of the year to spend the federal dollars. Although small details are still being worked out, small businesses should be able to apply for loans and grants through the Small Business Relief Program within the next few weeks. The state health plan has abandoned efforts to test all state prison workers, citing logistical difficulties. In a statement, State Treasurer Dale Falwell said, quote, "Unlike other state agencies, the Department of Public Safety has unique safety and operational hurdles that could not be overcome by the state health plan's desire to directly test these state employees. We're disappointed that we could not work out the details on how to go directly to the facilities outside of the fence to test," end quote. Falwell's office oversees the state health plan, and he had secured 20,000 coronavirus tests for the mass testing. He told providers that the tests set aside for prison workers could now be used and released for other testing. And lastly, a smile for your Monday. A Nashville veteran donated his $1,200 coronavirus stimulus payment to help his local animal shelter find homes for hard-to-adopt dogs. When the man, known only as Ralph, woke up to more money in his bank account, he drove to Brother Wolf Animal Rescue to surprise them when they opened for the day, insisting he wanted to use his entire stimulus check to help harder-to-adopt dogs find their forever homes. Together, Ralph and Leah Craig Pfizer, executive director of Brother Wolf, split up the funds to help 6 long-stay or medically challenged dogs. Adoption fees were waived for all 6, and thanks to Ralph's donation, each adopter will get a $200 custom care package from Chewy.com. Pfizer said Rusty, one of the 6, was adopted just 2 days after Ralph's visit. The other 5 remain adoptable at the time of recording. You can find a link to Brother Wolf's adoption page on our website. This has been your Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief for Monday, May 4th, 2020. As always, if you like the information and resources you get from this show, let us know by leaving a rating and review wherever it is you listen. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our new episodes. Thanks for listening.